Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Morgan, and on this channel I like to talk about reading, writing, scholarship, personal knowledge management, stuff in that vein. And today I want to take you through a kind of everyday carry scholar edition. So these are the top things that I always pack with me when I go out of the house. This is a what's in my bag kind of video. And the first thing I want to share with you is, of course, the bag itself. Now, I used to always carry with me my Patagonia Black Hole Messenger bag. I still do carry it with me often because my laptop fits in here along with my iPad and my Kobo and a book and a notebook, and it's got amazing pockets on the front and inside. I keep a carabiner on the outside so that I can carry like a water bottle or another bag with me. I love this guy. Unfortunately, they don't come in this shiny black anymore, so when I got their backpack a couple years later, I had to get like a more matte finish. Which is sad because the shiny black is part of what I love about this bag. But anyway, I recently found myself wanting something a little bit more professional, a little bit more fashionable. Coincidentally, around that time, I was also contacted by Teddy Blake, the bag company, and Teddy Blake offered to send me one of their luxury leather handbags in exchange for featuring it on my channel. So let's open up this box and I'll show you what I got. They let me scroll through a bunch of bags on their website. I ended up with the Gigi Palmaletto gold 15-inch in camel brown. Let's get this big box out of the way. And it came in this nice soft bag. And inside we have my Teddy Blake bag. Basically, I was looking for something large because I do like to carry a lot around with me. The bag has a long detachable strap, which is what I use most often, but you can also hold it in your hands with the little straps. This bag has the most interesting locking mechanism I've ever seen. It's got these straps, which are detachable if you want to just remove it entirely, but you just pull up and it slides out. And then this flap can come up and over like this. Now, I think this is a great anti-thief mechanism, but it does make my own bag very hard to get into, so I end up actually carrying my bag a lot just with the flap tucked inside. And the inside is nothing fancy, it's just empty. There's no special compartments or pockets or anything except this one zipper pocket on the side here, which I do appreciate for some of my more sensitive items I don't want flowing around in the bag itself. But yeah, there's not a lot going on inside, which is fine. I just kind of toss all my crap in here. Obviously, I just got this bag, so I can't speak to how durable it might be over time, but I do like the look of it, and I have been using it every day, and I suspect I'll continue to use it frequently until I can't anymore. Teddy Blake is not sponsoring this video or anything, but they did want to offer my viewers a discount code, so you can find that in the description box below, along with their social media and whatnot, so that you can shop their bags if you're curious. Now, let's talk about what I stick in this bag day to day. Where should I begin? With the more scholarly things? Okay, I think I'll begin where I prefer to begin each of my days, which is with a book. I almost always these days have a fiction book on the go, which was not true in my undergraduate and early graduate days, but ever since the pandemic, I have fallen back in love with reading. I kind of forced myself to by starting this YouTube channel so that I had to talk about the fiction books that I was reading. Right now I'm reading The Impusium by Olga Tokarczuk. I believe this is Tokarczuk's first novel that she wrote since winning the Nobel Prize, and I gotta tell you, I'm only maybe 40 pages through, but it is excellent so far. I can't wait to read even more of Tokarczuk's books. I could see her becoming one of my favorite authors. But anyway, if you are a scholar and you are not reading fiction or reading for fun, like I wasn't for most of my scholarly days, then I strongly encourage you to pick up a fun, lovin' fiction book. Maybe not a Nobel Prize winner. Maybe like, you know what I recommend for you actually? This lady right here, Emily Henry. If she doesn't make you fall in love with reading, I don't know what will. I gotta have a book on me. As a scholar, you're a writer, and you can't write if you're not reading. Or at least, I don't think you should write if you're not reading. So let's put the book in the bag. And maybe you feel too burnt out and overwhelmed and overworked as a scholar to read a fiction book physically, but maybe you have commute time to, say, your university or the library, and so you could stick in some earbuds and listen to an audiobook, which is what I was doing on my way home today. I'm listening to Babel by R.F. Kuang. These are just Pixel Buds, but before this I had the Sony Link Buds, which I absolutely loved so much. I really wish I was still using them, but unfortunately they stopped charging effectively, and I'm sure I could have troubleshooted that, but I was too disappointed how after like a year or two they stopped working. So instead I just gave up and I'm trying the Pixel Buds, which are doing great so far. I really like a wireless Bluetooth earbud that I can also hear through. I can pretty much hear everything while wearing these Pixel Buds. If I can't hear what's going on around me, I get kind of on edge and anxious, and it ruins my focus. So I like listening to an audiobook when I'm out and about, and I like listening to music while I'm working, but I do also want to be able to hear a little bit of what's going on around me. Maybe I'm a little weird in that way. Maybe most people prefer something noise canceling while they're at the library or they're trying to focus in, but if I can't hear what's going on around me, I find it hard to focus. So let's stick the earbuds in the bag, and this is one of those things I'm going to put in the little compartment because I don't want them to get wrecked. I also wanted to mention that sometimes I don't read a physical book, sometimes I don't read an audiobook, sometimes I'm reading an ebook, and I do that on my Kobo. I think it's called the Kobo Libra 2. I don't know where it is at this exact moment, but I love it because it fits in this purse, but also purse is much smaller than this one, and it's waterproof, so if I ever get caught out in the rain, I'm set. Staying in the reading and books realm, the other type of book as a scholar that I will have on me at all times is some kind of academic book. This is Unthinking Mastery by Julietta Singh, which I am very slowly working my way through. But it's nice to always have an academic book on me, even as I get to the later stages of my PhD, and I don't have assigned readings anymore. I'm not in the like heavy research phase, but it's still nice to stay up to date on scholarship and also keep my brain active if I'm away from my desk and away from the writing, because I find that nothing kills my productivity on my PhD more than having an extended period of not thinking about it at all. Like if you stay immersed in it, it's way easier to get the work done, in my opinion. So again, sometimes this will be a physical book, sometimes it'll be an ebook, sometimes it'll even be an audiobook paired with an ebook. That's my preference actually, but not a lot of academic books are audiobooks. Unfortunately, that would, I think, make academia a lot more accessible to people. But anyway, academic book is going in the bag. Directly related to having an academic book on me, though, is to have book darts on me. I used to carry with me at all times colored sticky tabs, and I swore by these, I lived by these, but I recently found book darts instead. And I only have one color of book dart, so I can't color code my sticky noting as I might have previously, but these are the Field Notes Tinna darts, and I'll show you what they look like. They're just these tiny metal arrows, and they've just got this little lip right there so that you can slide them onto the page of your book, and you can like point directly to the thing that you want to tag, and then it's just this really subtle little metallic strip out the side to find your tabs, and I find that they work really well. They're quite an elegant little reusable solution to the sticky tab. If I find a passage in my book that cannot just be tabbed because it's given me more ideas and I need to document those ideas, or I need to like clarify what the author is saying as I'm reading it because it's so complex that if I read it out of context later, I might not understand and instead have to entirely reread the chapter. So if I need to write something down urgently, I also always keep on me a stack of cue cards or note cards, these little like 3x5 or maybe they're 2x4. They look like 2x4 little paper cue cards. And I just have like a little stack of these in every single bag that I own and in every location in my house, just in case, because you never know when you need a little slip of paper, either to write down a note from the book that you're reading, give somebody a phone number, I don't know, but I keep just a little stack of papers with me. So drop those in. Another option, sometimes an alternative to cue cards, sometimes a good device in itself, is a little tiny notebook. So I'll use this in the same way as the cue cards, where I'll take notes in here on the book that I'm reading and write down the page number, or I'll use it to brainstorm things or plan things or take notes on, like, say, a lecture that I'm watching, things like that. I just have the little Rhodia one. I'm really falling in love with the Rhodia brand, actually. I got a big notebook from them the other day as well. So it's going in the bag. And then directly related to those things, of course, I need pens or pencils in my bag. I actually keep these in a pencil case because I don't want pens just loosely floating in this bag, especially because I like to bring one of my cheaper fountain pens with me wherever I go because that's just nice. This is a pencil case that my dad bought me for Christmas last year. That's the brand. I think it's like from Reused Materials or something. He got it on vacation. Anyway, in here we will find my Lamy fountain pen, of course, as I mentioned, as well as some normal pens, just in case. I've got some pencils I also recently got and I'm in love with. This Caran d'Ache reusable mechanical pencil. Oh my goodness, isn't that beautiful? Like, look at that color. I love that. Sometimes I'll also keep my cue cards in this pencil case, or if I've finished the cue cards and I want to save them, I'll put them in the pencil case. Oh, and highlighters. Highlighters is also a must in here because sometimes if the book dart isn't enough, like it's a longer passage or something, or I have a really specific word or something that I want to highlight, then I'll actually physically highlight it in the book if it's a book that I own. So I'm gonna drop that into the bag. I have another piece of stationery to show you. The next item that I keep with me is a journal. And this is not necessarily a journal for academics, but sometimes it does serve that purpose. It's more a journal to do kind of like morning pages, to get all of my thoughts out of my brain, to release some of the overwhelm and stress maybe that I'm feeling from thoughts accumulating in my brain, and just sit down and chill out and write. So the way that I format this is just like full paragraph sentences, long form writing. And then I leave a margin on the left side in case I want to pull out key items. And then I have a table of contents at the front because you never know, sometimes you're just dumping your brain onto the page and then you get a really good idea for your dissertation. And so you want to save that. So I also think that some kind of journal is a must. Obviously you could do this as like an audio journal on your phone or a typed text-based journal on your laptop or wherever you're working, but I prefer the longhand, long form writing in a notebook, and I got this beautiful notebook at Niagara-on-the-Lake. They have this really old school kind of vintage feeling bookstore there where the woman that sits at the desk still writes out receipts on a piece of paper by hand and has to like slide an analog method of getting your credit card information from you. And I just thought this journal was really pretty and I love writing in it, so it's going in the bag. And I'm down to the last three things. They're not scholar-specific things, but they're more just like every person kind of things. Okay, maybe this next one is actually unique to me. I don't know, but I get really cold and I don't like to be cold. And so I wanted a bag big enough that I could also stick a sweater in there. This is my emergency sweater going in the bag. Another emergency item is a second bag. So I got this little Chico bag and it's absolutely perfect. It's got a little carabiner if I want to stick it on the outside. And then this outer bag is attached to the inner bag so I don't worry about losing it. And it's just a perfect little size. If I pick anything up while I'm out, I need to do groceries on the way home, whatever it is, I've got a secondary bag if I need it. Okay, last thing and another emergency item, and I usually keep this on my keychain, but this is a Swiss Army knife. It's just the tiny little Swiss Army knife in pink, in see-through pink, and I'm sure that many of you are familiar with this item, but if you're not, it features a file, a pair of scissors, a knife, a toothpick, and tweezers. This comes in handy in a surprising amount of situations, especially since I started doing my nails, and I can no longer use my fingernails for tiny tasks. I use this to open letters, I use this to get stuff out of my teeth, etc., etc. That's just a handy little guy. Of course, I also keep kind of health and safety stuff on hand, like Band-Aids and alcohol wipes, tissues, a water bottle, and all that fits in here. Like, I haven't exhausted the space in this bag yet. There is still so much space in there, which is why I wanted a bag this large. Anyway, that is what I'm typically carrying with me if I'm going to, say, the library or something, on top of course, my laptop if I'm gonna do any writing work. But I tend to do my writing work from home, from my desktop computer, so this is kind of my to-go bag. So for all you scholars out there, am I missing anything? Is there anything that is in your necessary day-to-day scholar bag that I didn't mention in this video? And if you do like this bag itself, of course, there is a discount code below for Teddy Blake, as well as links to all of their socials and website if you want to check them out. That's all from me for now, so I'll see you in another video again soon. Bye, everybody.